I've got my brown belt without competing much. In a matter of fact, I only competed 3 times since I've started doing jiu-jitsu. So one could say I have 1 competition per belt. Thinking about this, I've decided to do now my brown belt competition. It's just a local tournament, but given that I have so little experience with this, I've decided to ask for advice from the pro athletes of my gym. I've talked to Nathan and Jack about their career, experiences, and mentality going into competition. And you're gonna watch it now, a bit of how these conversations went.
Nathan, Mr. Bag and Tag himself. My first question to you is like, why you started competing?
I started competing because it was a way to face my fears. I got bullied when I was at school growing up, and it was a way to be like, I got this. I've learned I can look after myself because I just had enough of someone throwing their weight around me.
And you have started competing what martial art?
So I've competed on the mat, in the ring, and in the cage. I'm an MMA fighter by trade, but I've also done lots of jiu-jitsu in the gi and nogi. I've also done boxing, and I've also done kickboxing. European championships, world championships in all 3 disciplines, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, and MMA. I love it. I love combat sports, and I love competition.
In your preparation, like I know that there's the physical preparation of like different martial arts, they would differ, right? Like especially like weight cutting and everything. But like mentally, do you have like the same procedure where like it goes to like the same things on your mind regardless of what you're competing?
I used to use my jiu-jitsu and my kickboxing to prepare for my MMA fights. Get that competition experience where I don't know who I'm competing against. I don't know what they're like, I just have to go, and then I get through that round, the next round is somebody else. So I find competitions and tournament formats keeps you honest. You know, you don't know who you're gonna face, you don't know what team they're from, what their skills are, it's you, it's about you as the competitor.
Jack, thank you for doing this.
Pleasure.
The first thing that in my mind when I thought about competing was like, will I gonna be defeating myself? Like I'm gonna be the best version of myself on the day? So I was wondering for someone that actually did this professionally, did it ever happen to you? Your preparation to there, like your mind start playing tricks on you and then you need to do something about it?
Yeah, definitely. So I feel like there's 2 different kinds of self-sabotage. That one would be in training, not doing your best in training for whatever reasons. For some people, they'll find excuses not to apply themselves, not to work their hardest, not to turn up and stuff like this. Sometimes it could be the opposite. It could be not knowing when to pull back. You know, you're injured, you should be working around an injury, but you decide you want to work through it and make things worse. So that can happen as well. So I feel like you can sabotage your own training in a multitude of ways, but you can also sabotage your own performance on the day. I can think of a couple examples like from my own experience. One would be maybe not appreciating the occasion. You know, I would normally get very nervous before I compete, whether it was a fight or now before it's a powerlifting comp. I do get nervous. I get nervous because I care about the result. I care about doing my best and putting in my best performance. The one time I didn't get nervous was probably my worst ever performance in a fight. And leading up to the fight, I thought, oh, this is great, you know, like I'm so relaxed. And then I was relaxed all the way until the cage door closed behind me, and then it all hit me all at once, like, shit, I'm actually in a fight. So I feel like for me, with my process now, getting nervous is the right thing to do. Like I know that I'll get nervous, that's okay. Nerves get the best out of me, they bring the best performance out of me. So that would be on the day. Also my own experience underperforming on the day would be not listening to your corner. And that's something I have done only once as an athlete. I've definitely experienced it as a coach. And it's an extremely frustrating experience from a coach's perspective when you can see the right things to do, you're calling them out, and your athlete doesn't execute because they don't think it's the right call.
Does fear plays a big part on like the competition? Like do you need to fear the competition? Do you need to be afraid of fail?
I think fear can be a huge motivator. If it's not crippling, paralyzing fear that just makes you underperform, I think it can be very useful. I think everyone who competes to a certain degree fears failure because none of us wants to fail in front of people that watch us, right? And I think that can be a powerful motivator. You know, like a lot of people that I have sparred or fought, they hated losing more than they loved winning, and those people can be very hard to beat. So I think, yeah, fear in the right amount, I think can be very healthy and very motivating. I also don't believe anyone who says they have zero fear going into the comp, because that would tell me that you literally don't care. And I don't think anyone would do that, would enter without genuinely caring.
It was such a pleasure getting to know how these two think about it. But what you saw here were only snippets of the whole conversation. If you're interested into watching the whole interviews, let me know in the comments. There were a bunch of other insights from these conversations that definitely helped me, and I think you're gonna find them very useful. In the meanwhile, I hope you have enjoyed the video and see you on the mats.